सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। We have seen in detail the Srishti Prakriya, where the three shariras of the individual jiva, along with all the angas also, you can say, physically and also the subtle body. In that again the prana, the constituents of prana, manas, the karmendriya, jnanendriya, all of them in detail we have seen, and also even the adhisthana devatas are all given here. Up to that we saw. Now Yajnavalkya is also going to talk about the Pancha Kosha. The Pancha Kosha, why is it called a Kosha? Kosha means a cover, literally. Means like even this, you have a sword, means you put it into a cover and keep, correct? That is called a Kosha. Koshavat achadayati iti Kosha is said. Means it is covering as though it is a cover. Koshavat achadayati means it is covering as though it is a cover. Means there is no real cover. But why is it called a cover? Means because it is covering your own swarupa from yourself. Because you are wrongly identifying with that particular thing, therefore that thing becomes a cover for your own swarupa. So when we say Annamaya Kosha, why is it called a Kosha? Because you place your eye on the Annamaya Kosha. It is really Annamaya. Okay. So Maya means Mayat is it's actually Mayat is a suffix, correct? That Mayat suffix can come in two meanings actually. One is called Prachuryartham, we say. Prachurya means it is in preponderance, you can say. Something which is saturated by something like that in English we say, correct? For that we can use Mayat. Or Vikarartha also it can come. A modification of something also can be called as Maya. So now here, the Annamaya, when we say, the body is basically a modification of the food we eat. That is why it is called Annamaya. So the physical body, the Sthula Sharira is called Annamaya. And Annamaya Kosha, why it is called? Because it is covering your true nature as though it is a cover. Why is it covering? Because you place your eye on this Annamaya Kosha or Annamaya. Therefore it becomes Annamaya Kosha. Is it clear? So this is a locus of error, I would say, correct? Each Kosha is basically a locus of error. Because you are confused of your own identity and you place your eye on that. By placing your eye on that, you are basically covering your own nature from yourself, and that becomes a problem. That is all part of Ajnana. Okay? So here, he is now saying all the koshas. What are the Pancha Kosha? Atha Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Pancha Kosha. Yeah, repeat. Yeah, so the Pancha Koshas are enumerated here. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. They are all. And now each one also is going to explain what are these. Anna Rasenaiva Bhutva Anna Rasena Abhivriddhim Prapya Anna Rasam Anna Rasamaya Prithibhyam Yad Viliyate Saha Annamaya Koshaha. So So Anna Raseneva Bhutva means it is born from Anna Rasa only, from the essence of food, of course from your mother's body, and then it also grows by the Anna Rasa only, the essence from the food we eat later on, and then Anna Rasa Maya Prithivya, the Prithivi which is basically Anna Rasamaya, because from the earth only all the food is growing. Correct? Prithivya Moshadayaha Moshadipyo Annam. Like that even the Taitriya also talks about it. In fact, one argument for vegetarianism is that Veda itself says Moshadipyo Annam. So Annam is from only Moshadhi. But you can interpret it in another way also. What is that? This is more scientific, I think. Other interpretation is only plants really produce food. Is that correct? Because they only can do photosynthesis. Then animals eat plant, other animals eat other animals, but the basic food has always come from plants only because they can only do photosynthesis. So you can take it like that also and say, okay, everything is allowed. Or you say, no, only plants are the source of food. Oshadipyo Anna is the Vedic Vakya. And Anna Purushaha. So like that here, this Prithivi is the Anna Rasamaya. That is also, therefore, in that Prithivi only, Yad Viliyate means that which resolves back into the earth. That is Annamaya Kosha, that is the Annamaya Kosha. Tadeva Sthula Shariram, that is the Sthula Sharira also, it is the physical body. So the physical body itself is Annamaya and it is also a Kosha, like I said, for the reason I told. Then what next? Karmendriyahi saha Pranadi Panchakam Pranamaya Kosha. So the Pranamaya is what? This all the five Karmendriyas and the Pancha Prana. Pranapana, Vyana, Udana, Samanaha. These five and the five Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha. All these together, put together are called the Pranamaya. Now the Annamaya is pervaded by the Pranamaya, we say. That's why in Taitriya it says Anyontara Atma Pranamaya Tenaisha Purnaha, like that. So this Annamaya is pervaded by the Pranamaya. In fact, without the Prana there is no life for the Sthula Sharira, and it is pervaded by that, and it is inner relatively. In fact, the whole teaching, the Panchavosha Prakriya is very interesting because it starts with Brahman, with the Satyam Jnanam Ananta. Then from there you start the macrocosm, correct? The macrocosm is what? That from that Atma, Akasha Sambhutaha, Akasha ke. Okay, Tasmad Etasmad Atmanaha, Akasha Sambhutaha. Akashat Vayu, Vayoragni, Agnerapa, Adya Prithivi, Prithivya Moshadayaha, Oshadipyo Annam. Anna Purushaha means now you have come into the individual, correct? From the Anda, you have come into the Pinda. You have come into the individual. From the total, you have come into the individual. And then again from individual, you are going inner, like that for the individual, correct? You start on the most external part of the individual, which is the physical body. And then say Tenaisha Purnaha, Anyontara Atma and all that, correct? Anyontara Atma, Pranamaya next. So the Prana is all these things. Okay, that is also Pranamaya because, and it is a modification of Prana you can say, and also it is a Kosha. Why it is Kosha? Again you are placing your identity there, correct? I am hungry, I am thirsty. All these things are all identification with the Prana. So it is also a locus of error, and therefore it becomes a kosha, it is a cover, it covers your swarupa, and so it is called pranamaya kosha. And then what? But this prana also is objectified by what means? By your mind only, mind and the sense organs. So that is Anyontara Atma Manomaya. So the Manomaya is inner to this also. And that what is that Manomaya? It is said here, Jnanendriyahi saha Buddhir Vijnanamaya Koshaha. Okay, here, where is the Manomaya talked about? Okay, Karmendriyahi saha Pranadi Panchakam Pranamaya Koshaha, Jnanendriyahi saha Buddhihi has gone into Vijnanamaya Koshaha. I think maybe something is missed out here, I think, correct? In some other reading, Manomaya also is there. Huh? But he did, when it was enumerated, Manomaya is there in the beginning, correct? Atha Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Panchakoshaha is there. I think there is something is missing here. We should talk about the Manomaya next, then only the Vijnanamaya. Anyway, so the Manomaya Kosha also is a Kosha. Why? Because you identify with your mind also. Correct? I am emotional, I am idiot, all that. lot of identification is there with your own mind. I am angry, I am hurt, everything is Manomaya only. So this Manomaya again becomes a Kosha, and it is internal, it is Anyontara Atma Manomaya. Then even inner to that is the Vijnanamaya, we say, which is the Buddhi, which is the one which cognizes even whatever is happening in the mind, the cognizer, the discriminative faculty, we can say. So Buddhi, here Jnanendriyahi saha Buddhi. So Jnanendriyahi saha Manaha Manomaya Koshaha, like that also one line should have been there before this. We can assume that. I think if you see some other place, I think they have left out here by mistake.
In the explanation it is written.
Okay.
That word is there, but Manomaya is covered in the explanation.
Anyway,
Manas
so,
with the Jnanendriya is
correct.
the Manomaya.
Something like that should be there, but it is missing here, I think. It has got missed out. That's okay. So then the Vijnanamaya Kosha, again, it is also a Kosha because you have identification with yourself as a knower, correct? I am knowledgeable, I am ignorant, all these things are all Vijnanamaya Kosha. And that is, at the Vijnanamaya level only, you also have the Kartrutvam, we say. Kartrutvam is there. Aham Karta. That is Vijnanamaya. I am a doer. That identification. So really speaking, Guna Guneshu Artante is the truth. The Prakriti alone is doing everything. The gunas act on themselves, that is the activity. But Ahankara Vimudhatma Kartahamiti Manyate, like that Bhagavan says in the Gita. Ahankara is a Vimuda, deluded. Deluded Ahankara thinks that I am the doer. In reality, Prakriti is only active. And the gunas are acting amongst themselves. The one who understands this is called Gunatita, one who has transcended all the guna, correct? Because then you also transcend your own kartrutva. You don't take yourself anymore as a karta. So that is what is said here. The Vijnanamaya is the seat of the kartrutvam also. And by taking yourself as a karta, it is a biggest cover. It is one of the biggest cover because everybody takes oneself as a doer, correct? And all the problems start from there. Once you become a doer, you become a success, failure, all that also comes along with that. And so, this Vijnanamaya also becomes a kosha, that way. It is covering your true nature. Finally what? Okay, these three now. What? That Edat Trayam it says. But they only talk about two. So you see here, Edat Koshatrayam Linga Shariram. Okay. So the Stula Sharira is the Annamaya alone, but the Linga Sharira or the Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira also is called Linga Sharira. It is another term, synonymous, because it is the indication that somebody is alive. Whether you are alive or not, how do we know? Only if the prana and mind, etc., and the other indriyas are active, correct? So that only indicates whether somebody is alive or not. That's why it is called linga. Linga means an indication or a sign. Okay, so linga sharira. Even Shiva linga we say, correct? That linga is an indication of Shiva for us. It is the sign or the symbol of Shiva. And why it is that means again there are many ways we look at it. The Shiva linga also. How does it indicate Shiva means? Basically one explanation given is you put all names and forms together. It will form like a linga, correct? It is, you just dump everything together, then whatever shape you get is the linga. Means Shiva is the one who is the truth. When you remove all the names and forms, whatever is there is the Shiva Swarupa, which is that linga. Linga personifies a shape which transcends all names and forms. That's what is our understanding. So this, anyway, linga sharira, these three together are the linga sharira, which is pranamaya, manomaya and vijnanamaya. And then what? Swarupa ajnanam anandamaya kosha. Okay, next is anandamaya kosha, which is one's own swarupa ajnanam. If you don't know, that is the anandamaya is the karana sharira, we say. Where, in fact, ignorance is bliss, we say. So something like that here. You don't know yourself, but you don't know anything else also. As long as you don't know anything else, it is ananda. Only when once the subject-object division is there and individuality is there, all the problems are there. If there is no second thing to be known, then when you don't have any opinion about yourself, correct, you are always happy. Basically, you don't look upon yourself as a wanting person. If you are not looking upon yourself as a wanting person, then you are always happy because that is your Swarupa. The Swarupa Ananda will come out. So Swamiji used to always demonstrate this, even in all his public lectures. He used to tell some joke. I am not very good at telling jokes, but anyway, you assume that I have told a joke. Then you can laugh, correct? Now when you are laughing, he will say, so did your loans and all got paid or not? All your credit card debts are cleared or not? All other problems in your life, is it solved or not? Means nothing has happened, correct? But you are able to suspend everything and enjoy a joke and be happy in that moment. Now think, why is it happening? Why is it even possible? That is because at the time when you are enjoying, you don't look upon yourself as a wanting being. That is the idea there. Whenever you do not look upon yourself as a lacking person or a wanting person, your Swarupa is only Ananda. That Ananda Swarupa will shine by itself. Nothing else. That is the only reason we are even able to enjoy some joy within the Vyavahara. Whatever Vishaya Sukham one enjoys within the Vyavahara, whether it is Vishaya Sukha, in fact even the Ananda itself is analyzed a lot. If you take Panchadashi, the last 5 chapters are all about all this. But every Ananda is really only Brahmananda. So the chapter names are all like this: Vishayanande, Brahmananda, Vidyanande, Brahmananda, like that. Because even knowledge gives you a certain joy, correct? Knowledge is joy. Then whatever sense objects also, when you enjoy them, there is some joy. That's all Vishayananda, we say. Like that, different types of joy also is there. But all of them are only this Brahmanandam alone. Brahmanaha Anandam alone, Matram Upajivanti, like that even in the Vrihadaranyaka Upanishad it is said. One portion of that only you are really enjoying in your day-to-day life also. So this Anandamaya here basically is that you don't know your Swarupa, but you don't know anything else also, because of at that time your only ignorance alone is there, correct? In deep sleep, let us say, and therefore there is a certain Ananda is there. That is why it is called Anandamaya Kosha. But even there, since you take yourself as an enjoyer, that is also wrong. It's not enjoy. You are not the enjoyer. Understand? Your very Swarupa is joy. That is different from taking oneself as the one who enjoys. If you are an enjoyer, it is only an activity, correct? Any activity will come to an end. It is only transitory. Then it's a problem. Understand that? So this Anandamaya Kosha. In fact, there is a Brahma Sutra, Anandamayo Abhyasa, like that, and that whole section itself is very interesting section in the Brahma Sutra. It is analyzed whether Brahman is Anandamaya or only Ananda. Because even in Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, like that, the Pucha is Brahman there. And therefore, and Anandam Brahmano Vidvan only is there. It's not Anandamayo Brahma. Anandam Brahmano Vidvan Abhiveti Kutascha Neti, like that. This Brahman is Ananda for us. And this Mayat, what is the meaning of Mayat also, there is a big discussion. Anyway, so I don't want to go into that, but here simply you can understand that Karana Sharira is only ignorance, and that ignorance itself is a bliss from in the Vyavahara at least. Okay, and that's why in fact everybody wants to sleep. Nobody goes to and complains to the doctor, I am getting good sleep. Only if you don't get sleep and you have insomnia and all that, you go to a doctor and ask for a sleeping pill and all that. Otherwise, there is no complaint. Everybody, and in the sleep also there is no differentiation, correct? Whether, in fact, even the yati is not a yati in the sleep, like that Brihadaranyaka says. So a sannyasi is not a sannyasi, a king is not a king, beggar is not a beggar, like that. For everybody, sleep is samya. It is the same, it is equal. So it is equally a sukha sthana. And that is the Karana Shariram, Tat Karana Shariram. Okay, then what? Okay, so now it is saying Atha Jnanendriya Panchakam, Charmendriya Panchakam, Pranadi Panchakam, Vyadadi Panchakam, Antah Karana Chatushtayam, Kama Karma Tamamsi, Ashtapuram. Okay, this is an interesting way of categorizing things. Ashtapuram, it is all 8 puras or 8 forts or whatever, 8 walls, whatever, you can take it like that. Means what? The Jnanendriya Panchakam, 5 Jnanendriyas, sense organs, then 5 organs of action, Karmendriya Panchakam, then Pancha Prana, Pranadi Panchakam, then the Mahabhutas themselves, correct? These are all at the individual level. Now we are looking at the cosmic level. Vyadadi Panchakam, the Pancha Mahabhuta, starting, Vyad means Akasha, it's a synonym of Akasha. Vyadadi Panchakam, Antakarana Chatushtayam, then the Antakarana Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta, that is all Antakarana Chatushtayam. But in this, both in the individual level and total also we have to consider. And Kama, Karma, Tamamsi. Because Avidya, Kama, Karma. That is always the progression. So we end up there. Kama, Karma and Tamas. And these 8 things are called Ashtapuram. Like this. These are the 8 things which are there. In fact, in this, the entire Srishti is covered. Okay. In fact, the Dakshinamurti is called Ashtamurti. Okay. Dakshinamurti Swarupa is Ashtamurti also is called. Why? Because similarly, Dakshinamurti also represents the entire creation. The form of Dakshinamurti, if you see there, the Pancha Bhutas are represented there. How? Like Akasha starts with the Damaru. In the Damaru there is Akasha. And wind they have represented in Dakshinamurti very intelligently. Dakshinamurti is wearing a bandana, correct? He has tied his hair, means that represents wind. Otherwise the wind will be blowing the hair, correct? The Jatamudi. So that bandana itself represents Vayu in the Dakshinamurti Vigraha. And then Agni, he carries Agni in one hand. Okay. Agni, of course Ganga is there, Apaha. Then he is sitting under the tree, which is Prithvi. So the Pancha Bhutas are covered like that in Dakshinamurti. And then Chandra and Surya are the eyes. Correct? So all the heavenly bodies are also covered like that. The stars and whatever other planets, etc. Chandra, Surya. Now this covers the physical world completely, correct? But then what about the jiva, the sentient beings? This covers only the insentient things. That is why he is having the apasmara and even the sishyas around, correct? They are all the jiva. So even the jiva is represented in the Dakshinamurti. But the interesting thing in that is what the Dakshinamurti, when we chant the Dakshinamurti Stotram and all that, before that we chant some Dhyana shlokas. In that what do we say? Chitram Vatataror Mule Vriddha Shishya Gurur Yuva. Dakshinamurti himself is always young. He is ever young. Tarunana, that's why he is called. That's because he represents the Ananda Swarupa. Ananda Swarupa is ever young. But his Sishyas are all Jiva, so they are all very old. Sanakadi, who are sitting under Dakshinamurti, are all old people. So the Dhyana Shloka is what? See this weird thing, or Vichitra. Chitram means basically Vichitra there. Chitram Vatataror Mule. Under the Vatavriksha, there is a strange scene. What is the scene? Vriddha Shishya Guru Yuva. So Shishya are all old, but Guru is young. And Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya. And Guru is teaching through silence, it is there. The Maunam Vyakhya again, we will explain it differently. We will come to that. And all the Shishya, for them, all the doubts are all gone like that. There is a Dhyana Shloka. Anyway, there also the Ashtamurti. Dakshinamurti also is considered as an Ashtamurti. Here we have Ashtapuram, counting all these things. Now, Vyad means Akasha. You know, the Pancha Mahabhutas only are called Vyadadi Panchakam here. So, these are the Ashtapuras. So, this represents the entire Srishti now. And then what? Isha Agnyaya Virajaha Yashti Deham Pravishya Buddhim Adhishtaya Vishwatvam Agamate. Okay, so now the original question of Paingala was what? How did this Ishvara become the Jiva, correct? So for that only now Yajnavalkya has in detail he has explained the Srishti. And now again he says the individual's experience again is what? I am the waker experiencing the waking world. Then I am the dreamer experiencing the dream world. I am the sleeper and I experience deep sleep also. Correct? So now that's what he is now going into each of those things. But each of that also is what? How did it happen? Means he says Isha Ajnaya. The Ishvara's command. For you is Ajna what? The Virat. Virat is the Stula Jagat Abhimani. Correct? The totality of the gross world, the one who identifies with that as I, that is the Virat, we say. And the Virat, due to the Ajna of Ishvara, Yashti Deham Pravishya, enters the individual's physical body. And Buddhim Adhishtaya, he is situated in the Buddhi of that individual. And Vishwatvam Agamat, in the wake, he becomes the waker. Vishwa means, Vishwa is the name given to the waker. Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, like that. This comes in the Mandukya Upanishad also, Mandukya Karika and all. Very big discussion is there on all these things. So now slowly we are going into the Avastha Traya also here. That's why in this Upanishad all the Prakriyas are covered. We start with the Karana Karya and the Sharira Traya, Panchakosha, and now from there now we are getting into the Avastha Traya also. So here the Virat only entered the physical body and then becomes the waker, and also is also active in the Buddhi as the waker of the individual. Okay, then what? Vijnanatma Chidabhasaha Vishvaha Vyavaharikaha Jagrat Sthula Deha Abhimani Karma Bhuhu iti. Okay, Karma Bhuhu iti cha Vishwasya Nama Bhavati Okay, now Vishwasya Nama means what? These are all names of Vishwa. What are all the names? These are all the names which are used in the Shastra in different contexts. What are they? Vijnanatma is one name for the Vishwa. The one who is the Vijnanamaya also, the individual. The individual in the waking state is called Vijnanamaya or Vijnana Atma. And Chidabasaha, or he is the whatever, the reflection of the Chaitanya, you can say. Vishwaha, and he is also called Vishwa because he is fully awake. He is awake to the entire world, so he is called Vishwaha. Vyavaharikaha, the one who is involved in the Vyavahara, correct? Transactional world. Then what else? Jagrat Sthula Deha Abhimani, one who identifies with this physical body in the waking world. Jagrat Sthula Deha Abhimani, one who identifies with that, and Karma Bhu, and one who does all the karma, Karta, one who identifies as Karta, that is Vishwa. All these names are all for the Vishwa. And Virat only entered and has become this Vishwa, like it is said. Then further what? Isha Ajnaya Sutratma Vyashti Sukshma Shariram Pravishya Mana Adhishtaya Taijasatvam Agamate. So again what? Sutratma is another name for Hiranyagarbha. Previously, the one who identifies with the Mahat is called the Chaitanya, which is identifying or which is appearing in the Mahat and identifying with that is called Hiranyagarbha. The same Hiranyagarbha is also called the Sutratma because the Sutratma term comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also. These are all the same thing, same meaning. So the Sutratma means he is the one who ties everything together in the subtle world. So the Sutratma is that Hiranyagarbha Sutratma only Veshti Sukshma Shariram Pravishya. He has entered each and every individual Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, and he is situated in the mind. Mana Adhishtaya and Taijasatvam Agamati. He has become the Taijasaha. The Taijasa is the name given to the dreamer. Vishwa is the name given to the waker. Taijasaha is the name given to the dreamer in the Shastra. So he gains this Taijasatvam. He becomes the Taijasaha. And again, what are all the names for this Taijasaha? In fact, Taijasaha, Pratibhasikaha, Swapna Kalpitaha iti, Taijasasya Nama Bhavati. Okay, the Taijasa himself is known as Taijasaha, Pratibhasikaha, Swapna Kalpitaha. All these are all names for this Taijasaha. Of course, Pratibhasikaha means one who sees something which is only visible to himself. Pratibhasam, it is only visible to yourself or evident to you. It is not known to anybody else. Your dreams are like that, correct? Or even when you see a rope snake and all that, we call it Pratibhasika because it is only visible to that particular person. It's an individual appearance, correct? So like that is why the Pratibhasikaha, the dreamer is called Pratibhasikaha and Taijasaha. Taijasaha because it is purely only the light of yourself, correct? The entire dream world is lighted up by only yourself. There is no other external light or anything. So you yourself are the one who is lighting up or you are shining. That is why Taijasaha also the name. Or Swapna Kalpita means in the dream, basically you are imagining everything yourself. So Swapna Kalpitaha. And further what? Okay. Continuing. Isha Ajnaya Mayopadihi Abhyakta Samanvitaha Vyashti Karana Shariram Pravishya Prajñatvam Agamate. So the one who is sleeping, one who experiences the deep sleep is called Prajña in the Shastra. So Vishwaha, Taijasaha, Prajñaha. That is the thing. And even here what? So due to the Isha Ajna only, Maya Upadhihi Avyakta Samanvitaha Vyashti Karana Shariram Pravishya. So this again Isha Agnya, Isha himself has entered, we have to say here. Because previously it was Sutratma and Virat. But the Karana Sharira, Samashti Karana Sharira Abhimani is Ishvara only for us. And therefore, by his own Agnya, he has entered what into the Maya Upadhi. Okay, the one who has the Maya Upadhi and also Avyakta. One who is with the in the unmanifest. And he is also entering into the Vyashti Karna Shariram, is the individual causal body, we say, or again it is the unmanifest state of the individual. When the individual sleeps, you go into the unmanifest state. Nothing is manifest there, everything is dissolved. So that individual's unmanifest also is pervaded by this Ishvara only. And there he is called, so he enters that as though, and he is called Prajnaha. Prakarshena Ajnaha also you can say. Prajnaha means one who does not know anything, complete ignorance. That is called Prajnaha. That way also we can take Prakarshena Ajnaha. It is called Prajnaha. Prajnatvam Agamad. Okay. Further what? Prajnyo Vichchinnaha Paramarthikaha Sushuptyabhimaniti Prajnasya Nama Bhavati. So these are all the names of Prajna. Prajnyo Vachinnaha Avichinnaha. Okay, Prajnaha Avichinnaha. Okay, Avichinna also is a name. And Paramarthikaha, one who is really ultimately real, because in the deep sleep you are the closest to the Swarupa, your own Swarupa. Okay? Because there is no Dvaita. There is only Ekatva. And that is why it is also a very the desirable state. Okay, there is no problem there. It is a desirable and pleasing state. So it is the closest, that's why it is called Paramarthikaha. So, and Sushupti Abhimani, one who identifies as I am the sleeper, or I slept. And Sushupti Abhimani is the Prajnaha. These are all the names. And Avichinnaha also, because you are not limited in the deep sleep, correct? There is no limitation or anything. There is no second thing. So basically you are not limited by anything. There is no vichitti or any division in there, basically. So all these names are there for the Prajna. Okay, now further what? Avyakta lesha jnana. No. Avyakta lesha jnana achadita. Paramarthika jivasya tattvamasya vakyani brahmana ekatam jaguhu na itarayoho vyavaharika pratibhasikayoho. Okay, now a very interesting teaching now. So what is said here is the one who is along with the Avyakta, correct? One who is unmanifest, basically. Avyakta lesha ajnana achadita means what? One who is covered by this ignorance, and also one who is covered by the unmanifest. Ishvara is the one who is covered by unmanifest, we can say, and Jiva is the one who is covered by ajnana, and these two are Paramarthika and Jiva, correct? Paramarthika really here means the Ishvara only, the ultimately real, and these two are the ones which are equated, because when we say that the Mahavakya is really an equation, correct? And any equation, the important thing in an equation is what? If I say 1 equal to 1, is it an equation or not? You will say it is an equation, but nobody gives an equation like 1 into 3 equal to 1, correct? It is too obvious. You don't have to create an equation and say 1 equal to 1. It is meaningless. Then where does equation become meaningful means the left hand side has to be apparently different from the right hand side, correct? I have to at least say 3 minus 2 equal to 4 minus 3. Something like that I have to say. By the look of it, something has to be different. Then only the equation makes any sense. The left hand side should be apparently different from right hand side, and you have to arrive at the identity, correct? That's what in fact in all our mathematics in school and all what we have studied, they will give some equation and you have to prove it means what? You have to arrive at the identity, correct? The identity has to be arrived at. The same thing for the Mahavakya, understand that? Because the Dvaitins and all say, how can Ishvara be Jiva? If you say Tattvamasi, everybody is clear in the context that Tat means Jagat Karanam Brahma, correct? Jagat Karanam Brahma is the Tat in that. Tvam is obviously the individual who is the Sishya, who is seeking this knowledge and all that. So how can the Ishvara be Jiva means? It's not that we don't know that there is difference between Ishvara and Jiva. Apparently there is a difference, correct? Particularly if you see the Jiva is Alpajnaha, Alpa Shaktiman. Everywhere Jiva is Alpa, correct? Jiva is small. Ishvara is Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvajnaha. So Ishvara is all. Ishvara is all, Jiva is small. So if you just look at Ishvara and Jiva, they are obviously different. There is no equation, there is nothing. You cannot say that they can be equated at all. Now that's what here also what Yajnavalkya is saying beautifully. He says, where in which state we have identification with the body mind sense complex. We have identification with the body mind sense complex only in waking and dreaming. So there he says there is no identity between Ishvara and Jiva, correct? Because the Ishvara Upadhi is too big. It is Samashti. Jiva Upadhi is small. And there cannot be any identity. We are not talking at that level at all. But where is the identity? He says the identity is there only in deep sleep. He says Prajnaha and the Avyakta, the Ishvara himself. Prajna and Ishvara only are one and the same, because there is everything is unmanifest. There is no difference in individual unmanifest and total unmanifest. Is that clear? It is one unmanifest only. So there alone you can have identity. So he is saying that Tasya Tattvamasyadi Vakyani Brahmanaha Ekatam. It teaches you the Ekatam with or the identity with Brahman. But where is that? It is only applicable when between the Abhyakta Lesha Ishvara and Ajnana Achadita Jiva. Okay, the identity is there only. So all these, in fact, basically the Upadhikrita Veda we have to give up. Okay, that is why we call it Bhagatyaga Lakshanam. Has to be used whenever we talk about the Mahavakya, we say. So what is this Bhagatyaga Lakshanam means? Or even before that, we have to understand how words convey meaning. Okay, words can convey meaning directly. Correct? Every word has a direct meaning. That is called Shakti Vritti or Mukhya Vritti. But in Vedanta, nothing is direct. Understand? We cannot convey anything directly because the subject matter is subtle. It is not even available for objectification, or it is not available as the direct meaning of any one word. So forget the direct meaning. We are now always focused only on indirect meaning. But even in indirect meaning, there are many types of indirect meanings are possible. So one is called, so indirect only is called Lakshana Vritti in general. Okay, by in English how we can say it is basically by suggestion and all that, correct? Like that we say. It's not direct, but it is indirectly indicatory kind of, or indirectly indicating or pointing out, like that. It is revealing indirectly. That is called Lakshana Vritti. Now that Lakshana Vritti also, there are many types of indirect revelation, you can say. What are all those? One is called Jahal Lakshanam. Jahal Lakshanam means you completely give up the meaning of the original word and take up the meaning of something which is connected to that or associated to that. That is called Jahat. Jahat means you give up. Jahal Lakshanam means you have to give up the entire word meaning. Okay, another important point is you should go for indirect meaning only when the direct meaning doesn't make any sense. Understand that. When the direct meaning itself makes sense, you should not say I will go for indirect. That's not correct. So there also we have to be careful. Obviously in the Mahavakya, the direct meaning is not at all possible, correct? Nobody can say Tattvamasi means directly Jiva is Ishvara. So obviously we have to only go for Lakshana there. But even in that, the Jahal Lakshanam means what? For example, the standard stock example given in the Shastra is Gangayam Goshaha. Is called Jahal Lakshanam, it is called. Now Gangayam Goshaha means what? The Gosha means the settlement, let us say. The settlement is on Ganga, if I say. So I am in Rishikesh, so I can very well say that. The settlement on Ganga means, Ganga, what is the primary meaning? Because Ganga is the river, correct? But on the river you cannot have any settlement or hut or whatever, house and all that, correct? But there is a prayoga. In the language we can say the settlement which is on the Ganga. Let us say like that. Then how do we take the meaning? The direct meaning is meaningless because the houses and whatever cannot be there on the river itself or in the river. Therefore, you give up the meaning of river, which is the direct meaning, and take Ganga Tire, like that. On the banks of Ganga actually. So we can only take it as on the banks of the Ganga. There you can have the settlement. So that is called Jahal Lakshanam. Of course, even in your day-to-day life, in many places, you can understand that we are using like this. There are prayogas, there are usages. And we also, many times, we don't even analyze all these things. We understand it just like that, correct? Without big analysis and all that, we do understand usages like this. Then another is called Ajahal Lakshana. In Ajahal Lakshana, you don't give up the primary meaning, but the primary meaning still doesn't make any sense. You have to add some more to the existing primary meaning. You have to add something also, and then only it makes sense. So what is the stock example? Shveto Dhavati. The white is running. The white color cannot run anywhere. Color is only a quality, it is only a guna. Therefore you have to say either Shveta Ashvaha Dhavati or Shveta Pashuhu Dhavati, something like that you have to add. But there you don't give up the white color because white color is still there. It is still a white horse or a white cow or whatever, white animal basically, which is running. So that is called Ajahal Lakshana, where you have to bring in the meaning of another word along with the word which is used, and then you arrive at the meaning. That is called Ajahal Lakshana. In fact, that we use a lot. You go to the hotel and say, give me 2 idlis. What does the server bring? He does not bring 2 idlis in his hand and give it to you in your hand, correct? There are Ajahal Lakshana only we are using. You ask for 2 idlis, but he is bringing it in a plate with chutney, sambar and all that. That is Ajahal Lakshana, because idli also is there, but additionally all other things also, that is what is your expectation. He knows. Even though you have asked only for 2 idlis, but you are asking it in a plate, maybe with whatever full of sambar, etc. Like that, that is also Ajahal Lakshana only, correct? Like this, you can even think about in our day-to-day life where all we are using all these Lakshanas. But the third Lakshana is more interesting for us, which is called Jaha Jahal Lakshana. You give up one part, you retain one part. Or it is called Bhagatyaga. Only one Bhaga you give up and another Bhaga you retain. So it is either called Jaha Jahal Lakshana or Bhagatyaga Lakshana. And for this, the standard example is Soyam Devadattaha. So the Soyam Devadattaha, this is that Devadatta. Now, this Devadatta is the one you are seeing now. In fact, you did not recognize this fellow because he is now 20 kilos overweight. Hair is, in fact, lot of hair is gone, but whatever little is there is also white, and there is a huge paunch. You saw the like that. This Devadatta is looking like this. Then somebody else comes and says, this is that Devadatta. Okay, with whom you studied 20 years back. No, that Devadatta was having black hair, lot of hair, was only 55 kgs. Now this Devadatta is 80 kgs. Okay. Means from all these things, what do we understand? That Devadatta is qualified by the body, mind, sense complex and everything else. 20 years back he was wearing a bell bottom and all that maybe. Now he is wearing a dhoti. So even there is difference. What you are wearing, how you are, etc. So there is no equality between this Devadatta and that Devadatta. If you only go by their body, mind, sense complex or even what they are wearing, etc. Correct? There cannot be any identity at all. So you have to give up whatever qualifications and qualities he had at that time. That you have to give up completely. And whatever qualifications and qualities he is now having also you have to give up completely. Then where is the identity? The identity is that the person is same, correct? The identity is only on the person. Now this we say in a different manner also. In the Shastra, what do we say? In Bhavatyaga Lakshana, there is no identity in the dharma. Correct? That the quality wise, this Devadatta is totally different from that Devadatta. But the dharmi is the same. Correct? The one who is having all the qualities, the dharmi. So the identity is only with reference to the dharmi. It is not with reference to the dharma. Why this is very important is, let me tell you. In another manner also it is very important. One of the objections with the Dvaitins and all raise is that if you interpret the Mahavakya as a literal fact, then they say that the Shruti Pramana goes against the Pratyaksha Pramana, according to them. And Shruti cannot go against the Pratyaksha Pramana. I already told you, any Pramana has to reveal to you something which is Anadigatam and Abadhitam. Correct? Abadhitam is very important for us. So whatever the Shruti reveals can never be contradicted by Pratyaksha or Anumana. If it is contradictory, then you have to interpret it differently. Then they will say, then you just interpret it as meditation. It is only upasana. You have to do upasana that Aham Brahmasmi. It is called Ahangraha Upasana. So the Dvaitins and Vishishtadvaitins argue that Tattvamasi is not a statement of fact. It is only a upasana vidhi. It is if the Veda is mandating that you have to do upasana that Aham Brahmasmi. Don't take yourself too much. Don't think about it yourself too much. Okay? You are not really Brahman, but you do upasana that you are Brahman. That is what they are saying. But we are saying if it is upasana, normally everywhere upasana, what is there? It will be explicitly, it will say Annam Brahmeti Vyajanatana is there, like that, correct? Annam Brahmeti Upasita, Pranam Brahmeti Upasita, like that. The Shruti will explicitly ask you to do upasana. Upasana is deliberate superimposition by the Shastra itself. It is asking you to do. Shalagrame Vishnum Dhyayami, something like that. When you say, I am now doing dhyana of Vishnu on the Shalagrama. That is called Sampat Upasana. Like this, deliberate superimposition is allowed based on some guna samya. We say that there is a similarity in some quality. Even Shalagrama, why do we do upasana of Vishnu? Because you break it open, there is a Shankha and Chakra, like that you will see. Because it's basically a fossil, understand that. And so then the guna samya being there, you can do upasana. But here in Tattvamasi, we say it is a statement of fact. But then what is the objection? They say if you say it is a statement of fact, it goes against Pratyaksha. Because Pratyaksha Pramana it is very clear that I am not Vishnu or Narayana. How can you say I am Narayana? Ishvara is Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman. I am Alpa Shaktiman. So we say that is correct. The Pratyaksha Pramana is only telling you the difference based on the dharma. You understand? So Pratyaksha also is not wrong. We are not saying Pratyaksha is wrong. Pratyaksha is only showing you the difference based on the dharma. We are not saying the identity is based on the dharma. Is it clear? What we are saying is the identity is based on the dharmi. and Pratyaksha cannot reveal the Dharmi. Pratyaksha can neither reveal Ishvara, Pratyaksha can neither reveal Atma. You understand? Because Atma is not available for objectification by sense organs. Ishvara also is not available. Ishvara is Paroksha, Atma is Aparoksha. Both are not available to Pratyaksha. Is that clear? So Pratyaksha Pramana has no access to the subject matter we are talking. So don't raise your voice too much. We are talking about the identity based on the Dharmi, which is not available for Pratyaksha. So Shruti alone is the Pramana, and Shruti is revealing the identity for us. That is how we actually argue with them. So it's a very important point here that the Bhagatyaga Lakshana, only by that alone we arrive at the identity of Ishvara and Jiva, and that identity also is only based on the Prajna and Ishvara, we say. It cannot be, obviously it cannot be based on the waking and the dream. Okay, so rest of the things we will continue next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.